Picture this. You wake up on day 3 feeling like your head is being squeezed in a vice. Your energy has completely crashed. You're irritable, you're craving everything sweet in sight, and you're starting to wonder if giving up sugar was the worst decision you ever made. But here's the thing that nobody tells you about that moment. That exact feeling? That is your body beginning to change in ways that will absolutely blow your mind. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly what happens inside your body every single day when you cut out sugar for 1 week. And some of what I'm about to share is going to genuinely surprise you. Let's start with day 1, because most people assume day 1 is going to be the hardest. Surprisingly, it's actually not that bad for most people. When you stop eating sugar on that first day, your blood glucose levels start to stabilize. You might feel relatively normal, maybe even good. You're riding the motivation wave of a new decision. Your body still has glucose stored in your liver and muscles in the form of glycogen, so it hasn't fully registered that the sugar supply has been cut off. Think of it like a city that just lost power but still has backup generators running. Everything seems fine for now, but underneath the surface, your insulin levels are already beginning to drop, and that starts a cascade of hormonal changes that will reshape how your body functions over the coming days. Now, day 2 is where things start to get interesting. Your glycogen stores are running lower. Your brain, which runs almost exclusively on glucose, is starting to notice the change. You may find yourself feeling foggy, slightly sluggish, and reaching for snacks almost out of habit. This is important to understand. A lot of what we call sugar cravings aren't actually physical hunger at all. They're deeply wired behavioral patterns. Your brain has been trained to expect sugar at certain times of the day, after meals, during stress, when you're bored. When that sugar doesn't arrive, your brain sends out signals that feel exactly like cravings, but they're really just the old programming firing off. Recognizing this distinction is genuinely one of the most powerful things you can do during this process. Day 3. This is the one I warned you about at the beginning. For many people, day 3 is the toughest day of the entire week. Headaches are common. Fatigue hits hard. Mood dips. Some people describe it as feeling almost flu-like, and there's a real physiological reason for this. Your body has been dependent on quick sugar hits to fuel your energy cycles, and it's now being forced to shift toward burning fat for fuel instead. That transition isn't instant. It takes time for your metabolism to adapt, and during that adaptation window, you feel rough. But here's the payoff moment that makes this all worth pushing through. The discomfort you feel on day 3 is actually a sign of progress. Your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The harder it feels, the more dependent on sugar you actually were, and the more meaningful this process is for your health. By day 4, something shifts. The fog starts to lift for most people. Your body is becoming more efficient at drawing on fat stores for energy, and your blood sugar is running at a much more stable level than it has in potentially years. This stability is remarkable because one of sugar's sneakiest effects on our bodies is the constant spike and crash cycle it creates. You eat something sweet, your blood sugar shoots up, your pancreas pumps out insulin to bring it back down, your blood sugar drops, and suddenly you're tired again and craving more sugar. That cycle is exhausting your system every single day when you're eating a high-sugar diet. By day 4 without sugar, and that cycle has slowed down significantly, and many people start noticing a kind of steady, calm energy they haven't felt in a long time. Day 5 brings some genuinely exciting changes that you can actually see and feel. Inflammation in the body begins to decrease noticeably. Sugar is one of the primary drivers of systemic inflammation, which is linked to a staggering range of health issues from joint pain to skin problems to poor sleep quality. People who make it to day 5 often report that their skin looks clearer, their stomach feels less bloated, and they're sleeping more deeply at night. Your gut bacteria are also beginning to shift. The bacteria that thrive on sugar are starting to lose their grip, and the beneficial bacteria that support digestion and immunity are getting more of a foothold. This is a bigger deal than most people realize because the state of your gut microbiome influences your mood, your immune function, and even how clearly you think. Day 6. And at this point, you're in genuinely impressive territory. Your taste buds are starting to recalibrate. Foods that you might have found bland before are beginning to taste more interesting and flavorful. A plain piece of fruit can taste almost shockingly sweet at this stage. This happens because sugar is incredibly overpowering on your palate. When you eat high-sugar foods regularly, you essentially numb your ability to taste subtle flavors. Removing sugar allows your taste receptors to reset, and the world of food becomes much more rich and complex. Many people who complete a full sugar detox report that they stop missing the processed sweet foods entirely by this point, because real whole foods are genuinely satisfying them in a way they weren't before. And then there's day 7, the full week mark. Let's talk about what has actually changed inside your body by this point. Your fasting insulin levels have dropped meaningfully. Lower insulin means your body is less likely to store excess calories as fat. Your liver has been given a significant break, because the liver is responsible for processing fructose, and high sugar intake puts enormous strain on it. Your cognitive function has likely improved because your brain is no longer riding the blood sugar roller coaster. Many people report sharper focus, better memory recall, and a more stable mood. Your skin may look noticeably clearer because reduced sugar means reduced inflammation and reduced collagen breakdown. Yes, sugar actually damages collagen, which is the protein responsible for keeping your skin firm and youthful looking. Now here is something that catches most people completely off guard. After 7 days without sugar, the psychological relationship you have with food starts to change. When you prove to yourself that you can go a week without something you thought you were completely powerless against, it rewires something in your brain. You realize that the cravings don't actually control you. You are in control. That mental shift is arguably the most valuable outcome of the entire 7 days, more than any physical change, because it sets the foundation for long-term healthy choices. So what should you actually do with all of this information? First, understand that not all sugar is the same. The sugar in a piece of fruit comes packaged with fiber, vitamins, and water, which slows its absorption and gives your body time to process it. The target here is added sugar, the kind found in processed foods, sodas, baked goods, and things you'd never expect, like pasta sauces and salad dressings. Second, don't try to white-knuckle your way through cravings by just resisting them. Replace sugar with something that satisfies the need, whether that's fruit, protein, healthy fats, or just a glass of cold water. Replacement beats restriction almost every time. 7 days is not a magic cure for everything, but it is a genuinely powerful reset that gives your body a chance to remember what balanced, stable energy actually feels like. If you've never tried it, you owe it to yourself to find out what life feels like on the other side of that week 3 struggle. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever gone a week without sugar? And what was the hardest day for you? And if you want to know what happens when you go 30 days without sugar, that video is right up here. I'll see you there.